Our first story today was posted by user Aslan'sGirl89, titled, I was born lactose intolerant and my parents decided not to tell me. Also, if you guys want to read these stories while I'm not able to edit these ones properly, you can easily just click all of the links in the description down below and follow along with me. Now, I just read a story that reminded me of my own parents, so here goes. Backstory. I am also a member of this subreddit, r/raised by narcissists, so I am very aware of my parents, particularly my dad, being a less than ideal, but this one shook me to my core when I learned it, because of its sheer effect on my life. So anyway, onto the story. Ever since I can remember, any time I would drink milk or eat ice cream, I would get a terrible stomachache and diarrhea. We went out to eat a lot, and being a little kid, my parents would order me milk to drink, give me mac and cheese, and then ice cream for dessert, which would result in my having to make the customary trip to the bathroom in terrible pain and explosive diarrhea every single time. It got to the point where my parents would be teasing me every single time I wanted to go to the bathroom and poop in it whenever we went. I would also have the same problem after lunch at school, until one of my teachers accused me of making excuses to get out of class at the same time every day. It was awful. I was just told that I had the family stomach and that I needed to deal with it. So, fast forward to high school. This is still going on, and we go out to dinner with a new friend of my mum's, who says that she is lactose intolerant, and being the very curious person that I am, I ask her about what it was because I have heard of it before, but never understood what it was or what the symptoms were. She tells me that she experiences terrible gas pains and diarrhea if she drinks milk or has a lot of dairy. At this point, my ears perk up and I'm like, you mean that's not normal? And I start thinking that maybe I am lactose intolerant too. So I start doing a little bit of experimenting and avoid milk for a few weeks. And guess what? No more stomach aches. So I tell my parents that I think I may be lactose intolerant, and my dad, ever the gaslighter, says, "No, you're not. You're just saying that for the attention." So I go back to thinking that I'm not lactose intolerant for the next several years, and go back to having the stomach problems. Fast forward again to college. I run into a few new people that are lactose intolerant, and being recently freed from the ironclad controlling nature of my father, I decided to actually research it for myself and do some experimenting again. So I researched and found out that I have all the classic symptoms of lactose intolerance, and experiment by not just avoiding dairy, but actually going to the store and buying the lactose pills that help you digest lactose, and take them anytime I drank milk or ate ice cream. Guess what? It helped. No more gas pains and constant diarrhea. So I go home, and this is the conversation I had with my parents. I say, "Hey, Mum and Dad, so I'm pretty sure that I am lactose intolerant because I have all the symptoms, and I've been using the lactose pills when I eat dairy, and they've been helping." And Dad says, "You're not lactose intolerant. You're just saying that to get attention." My mum interrupting my dad. "Oh, I know that you're lactose intolerant. You have been since you were born. You had the soy formula when you were a baby, because if you had dairy formula, you projectile vomited everywhere." And I'm just like, what? So Mum says, "Oh, I've always known that you were lactose intolerant. I just didn't want to tell you because I didn't think that it would make any difference, and I thought you would use it to get attention." And I'm just speechless at this point. Like, I couldn't believe it. I had literally been lactose intolerant since birth, and they never told me and just let me suffer. Here's the kicker though. After hearing from my mum that I was lactose intolerant from birth, my father wholeheartedly accepted it and even started bragging to other people that I was lactose intolerant, and loudly asking me if I wanted to drink the lactose-free milk that his friend's daughter was drinking because she's lactose intolerant too. My dad's behavior is, and always will be, very confusing to me, but I hope this was entertaining to read. Let me know if you want me to share some more stories from my upbringing, as this was pretty cathartic. Thanks for reading this far. Edit. Wow, I had no idea that this would get the kind of response that it has. This is actually one of the more minor stories of abuse and neglect that I suffered growing up. I have actually been in therapy on and off for the last 10 years for complex post-traumatic stress disorder due to my upbringing, so thanks for all the support. I'm just gonna take some time and say that I meant to say dog in yesterday's video, but I said cat. Everyone's brain does that sometimes. Also, I was reading your comments, and I think maybe it's good to remove the music. Tell me what you guys think. If you want me to remove the music from the normal videos, I'll just have the text on screen in the background, and you can read along in the videos with no noise in the background, so you guys can listen to whatever else you want while listening to my voice. How does that sound? But if you do like the music, I'm open to that, those ideas also. Our next story was posted by user Cannabis MP, titled, "Let my kid sit there, you're not disabled enough." Okay, so this story might be slightly gross, but for some context, I'm 21, male, and a student at a London university. This story happened while I was riding the district line to class. I tend to wear this badge on the tube which says, "Please offer me a seat." The company that runs the tubes provides these badges for people with disabilities. Now, I can't walk for very long at all. I have an extremely aggressive form of eczema, ECZEMA, which particularly affects my feet. Just imagine a bruised shank of ham that someone has attacked with a rake. That's kind of what they look like most of the time. Basically, my immune system attacks itself and leaves my skin covered in scars, which hemorrhage blood and discharge. The bleeding can start at the slightest touch. So, it's quiet. I'm on the train, sat in one of the disabled priority seats, which is right next to the door. I'm minding my own business when a flood of people get on, and suddenly I'm interrupted when Her Royal Highness Karen, Queen of the Bob Cut, steps on with her little boy who looked about 5 years old, and she says to me, "Excuse me, can my son sit there?" So I say to her, "I'm really sorry, but I can't stand for very long." And at this point, I show her my "Please offer me a seat" pin, and she frowns. Karen says, "There's nothing wrong with you. My kid should sit there. Are you really going to make a little boy stand the whole way?" I say to her, "Look, I really do apologize, but I have this skin disease that makes it incredibly painful for me to stand on my feet." No one really looks at us, even though she's causing a scene, since everyone either has headphones in or are on a phone call. This is the morning commute after all. "You're just making excuses. Stop being such a wanker." I was kind of taken aback that she'd used that language in front of her kid. Her little crap, who I'll call entitled kid, is watching me the whole time, and starts to bug me too. "Let me sit, let me sit." He takes a full jump into the air and lands straight on my foot. I let out a shriek louder than a jet engine, and suddenly have everyone's attention. At this point, my eyes are tearing up, and I'm trying not to cry with how much this little shit just hurt me. Karen says to me, "Well, that bloody serves you right for being a selfish little child," she says to me. I, pissed off, pull my foot onto my leg, remove my shoe and sock to show her what I mean. Once she saw the blood running down my leg and foot, along with the large chunks of missing skin, Karen goes white as a bloody sheet. Given that this is pretty normal for my skin, I can deal with it fine, but my ears are still ringing from where I was just stomped, and I realize I could no longer put the slightest pressure on that foot. Fortunately, a slightly older lady offered her shoulder to me so I could get off the train. Karen was looking pretty stunned, but all of that vanished as I got off onto the platform. In her mind, she had won. The last thing that I saw was that little crap sitting in my seat as the train sped away, while I waited on a station guard to bring me a first aid kit so I could stop losing blood. That kid is going to grow up frighteningly narcissistic. Edit. Thank you so much for everyone's kind words. It means so much to see so much support from people. Warms my heart. Smiley face. My God, that is terrifying. And our next story was posted by user Electric Coyote, titled, "My entitled mother forged my name to buy a car. to evade the IRS. A little bit of back information. My mother is horrible with money. She pulled $90,000 out of her 401k early. She didn't put anything aside for taxes, so she ended up having $30,000 in back taxes. During this time, I also had to bail her out of unpaid rent, with the promise that she would pay me back, which of course she never did. That was to the tune of $3,000 twice. I also bought her a house to live in, after the apartments that she lived in got foreclosed on. Now on to my story. Mum calls me up, and the initial conversation went like this. "Hey, OP, I've got some good news." "Oh yeah, what's that?" "I've bought you a car." Okay, that's really cool of you. Thank you." "Well, I didn't buy you a car. I bought me a car. It's just in your name. You know, the IRS is going to varnish my wages, so they might take everything that I own. So I need another car, in case they take mine. It can't be in my name, so I signed your name on all the papers." Okay. So fast forward a few years. She has run this car into the ground. It no longer runs as the starter went out, the battery was shot, the AC didn't work. The registration was expired, and someone slashed a tire while it was parked on the road. It needed a lot of work. Now, she had only spent about $3,000 buying the car, so it wasn't a super expensive car to begin with. Plus, after the elapsed years, it was only worth about $1,000. Entitled Mother called me up the day after my birthday to tell me that the car was going to be towed. The city had put a 72-hour notice on the window, and she waited 48 hours to tell me. She said that she waited because she didn't want to, quote-unquote, ruin my birthday. So my girlfriend, and now wife, and I rounded up a car hauler and had the car towed to our place. We went to work almost immediately. We changed the starter, got 2 new tires, recharged the AC, replaced the battery cables, changed the oil, and caught the registration up, all to the tune of about $750. It was like a brand new car. We were pretty broke at the time, and my girlfriend needed a new car, so I figured this one would suffice until we got back on our own feet. My mother never lost her other car, so she still had transportation. About a week after we got it roadworthy again, my mother called me up. Convo goes as follows. "Did you get your car fixed?" "Yup." "When do I get it back?" We could really use another car, and we just spent $750 getting it going again." "Well, now I want it back." "You have another car that you can drive. If you want to pay us back for the work that we did, we'll give you the car back. Otherwise, we're going to keep the car. Besides, you still owe me at least $6,000, so the way I see it, we can borrow the car." "You can't do that. I bought the car, and it's mine." "Prove it." "I'm gonna sue you. I'll call the cops and tell them that you stole the car." "My name is on the registration. My name is on the title. Go ahead and take me to court. Then you can tell the judge that you forged my name on all of the documents because you were evading by hiding assets to the IRS. Let's see how well that works out for you." "Frick you, you frickin' asshole!" And she hung up on me. She didn't talk to me for a couple of months, and I just enjoyed the silent treatment. ETA, that $90,000 that she pulled out, she has nothing to show for it. She just pissed it away on nothing. Our next story was posted by user Invader Zims, titled, "Entitled Mum Thinks She Can Jump Line and Steal My Popcorn at a Theater." Hello Reddit, I'm a normal teenager who lives in a normal town in Ohio. So on Christmas Day, me and my sister went to the movie theater to see Spies in Disguise. It has Will Smith, so why not? After purchasing our tickets, we purchase a large popcorn, which comes with a free refill. About halfway through the film, I went back to the concessions in the lobby to get our free refill. This line was long, maybe a 10-minute wait. I felt fine with that, not like I'd miss anything. Fast forward about 5 or so minutes. I'm the next in line. There's a large line behind me. Enter entitled mother and her 2 entitled kids. probably about 8 or so years old each. An entitled mother says to me, "Hello, can we please go in front of you? We're in a hurry for our movie." At this point, she seems pretty nice, but I can give up my spot, so I politely decline. I've waited here for about 10 minutes to get a refill of popcorn during my movie. I'm probably in a bigger rush than you. But I have 2 children. Can't you see how hungry they are? You're also getting a refill, so you already ate. My kids deserve that more than you do. Ma'am, I paid for this popcorn, and I'm getting a refill that will take a minute. So please go to the end of the line. Also, I'm missing my movie to get this popcorn. While me and entitled mother are arguing, I notice that one of the kids is trying to take my popcorn ball. Oi, give it back! This is mine, you can't have it. She deserves it more than you. It's Christmas, and you need to give something to someone, so give it to my daughter. Mommy, she's not giving it to me. At this point, one of the theatre workers notices the situation. Entitled mother says, "This kid is trying to steal my daughter's popcorn." What the mum doesn't know is that the worker who noticed was the one who sold me the popcorn and just plays along. Yeah, okay, kid. Give her the popcorn if it's hers. I give her the popcorn ball since I know that the theatre worker has a plan. After the lady gets a refill from my bowl, theatre worker calls me up to him. He gives me an entirely new popcorn bowl with the refill tag still attached for free. I walk back to my movie, and on the way, I see entitled kid dropped the popcorn on the ground and is having a tantrum. Entitled mother gives me a glare. I shrug her off and enjoy my movie. And to talk about movie, guys, I just saw Rise of Skywalker in 4D yesterday. That was intense. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to shill here. I recommend go see Rise of Skywalker. And it's expensive, but it was a lot of fun. On to the next story. Our next story was posted by user Captain Marv 3L, titled, "Mom becomes furious when I go to a funeral instead of seeing her." This was several years ago when I was a junior in college. I unfortunately got a call from my father that my great-grandfather had passed away. We knew it was coming. He was in his 90s, and it wasn't looking good for a while, but it still hurt. I felt I had a good relationship with him. My father used to take my siblings and me to go visit, and he would tell us stories about what he did in World War II. Looking forward for World War III in a few weeks. The funeral happened to land on a day that I didn't have work. The next day, though, I did have to go in, and I couldn't afford to miss a shift. That meant that the trip would be a flyby. I drove 2 hours into town, and we would do the service, the salute, the burial, and I would forego the dinners for driving home. I get to town, get dressed in black, and make myself look presentable, and leave my vehicle at my father's house. I ride with my stepmom and dad to the service. I had mistakenly mentioned that I had a funeral in town to my mother. That's when it started. She texts me, "Are you gonna come visit?" So I say to her, "No, I don't have time. I would love to see you though." "Mum, I really can't. This isn't a social call, it's a funeral." "Oh no, it is a social call, just not for this side of the family. You always make special trips to come see your father, but never me. You're just stuck up." I'm thinking, really? Of course I don't come see you. You're a gaslighting cow. Now you're trying to guilt trip me at a funeral for a family member you said you actually care about. I get so frustrated. I'm outside waiting for the service to start at this point. She's sending messages on how I don't care about that side of the family. How I owe it to her to come visit. How I raised you. You have to come to see me. How much she hates my dad's side of the family. I want to cry and chuck my phone at the same time. My stepmom, who I love dearly, told me to turn the phone off and take a few breaths and come inside, which I did. After the 21-gun salute and final goodbyes, I went back to college, ignoring every message and call she sent my way. I ended up chatting with my boyfriend until I finally got home. To this day, it still pisses me off. It's not the first time she's done this, but I never thought she would sink so low. She wonders why we have an extremely strained relationship now, yet she calls my dad to gloat how close we are. We aren't, and my dad finds it funny. I have more stories of her, like the time she had my stepdad and herself yell at me for being a terrible daughter when I got the flu. She has issues and makes things up all the time. And our last story was posted by user EentitledTurtle, titled, Entitled Woman Steals My Headphones While I Get an Outburst Thanks to My Mental Disease. Hello, I did a post on this sub before, because my friend ran into an entitled mother. I also run into entitled people all the time because of my mental disease, but this one actually stole from me, so I decided to post it. Forgive me for grammar, spelling, and vocabulary mistakes. English isn't my native language. So some backstory. When I was 5 years old, I tripped over and fell off the stairs and damaged my brain. I got the condition called PBA, pseudobulbar effect, and it's a disease that makes a person get uncontrollable bursts of laughter and/or crying, most of the times when you feel a sudden change in emotions, but it can also just happen at random. Sounds like Joker movie? I mostly have crying outbursts. The condition wasn't really known until the Joker 2019 movie released, where Arthur Fleck has the condition. Most people start thinking I'm faking it because I want to look cool. When I was younger, my parents always had to drive me to school, but now I'm older, and I don't want to say my age, but I'm a teenager. I can control my outbursts better. I can't cycle to school though, because if I get an outburst on my bike, I can trip over and hurt myself and/or others. Also, my school is pretty far away, and I wouldn't even like to cycle so long every day. So I always take the train, which is around a 20-minute train ride. To control my outbursts, I listen to music. It makes me feel relaxed, and most of the times, I don't get an outburst. But sometimes, my phone battery is low, and I can't let it die, because if something happens to me, I need to call my parents, and it's hard to ask someone for their phone while laughing or crying. Anyway, enough backstory. That was way longer than I thought. Let's start with the real story. This is from what I remember. I'm sitting in the train listening to music. Entitled mother steps into the train and sits behind me. Me listens to my music. I get taken away by the music, so I accidentally start singing louder and louder. People in the train start looking at me, and when I realize what I'm doing, I apologized and stopped singing. Entitled mother. Hey, you had a nice voice. What song were you singing? I think she was trying to sound like a nice person. I don't know why she started so nice. I look up. Oh, hi. Thanks. The song was Feel It Still. It's my favorite song ever, and I always have it on a 1-hour loop. I'll look it up. Thanks. No problem. A few minutes pass. Nothing happens. Hey, can I ask you something? Yeah, sure, make it quick. I need to get out soon. Where did you get those headphones? My son really likes them. I bought them online. Insert website from my country. Thanks again. No problem. Again. I was thinking, such a nice lady. Oh boy, I was wrong. I arrive at my stop and get off the train. Go to school. Nothing important happened. Lol, school in a nutshell. Just kidding. I get back to the station after school and am waiting for my train when I notice the entitled mother. I found it strange because she was still sitting on the train when I got out, but now she was waiting at my stop. I didn't really care about it though, and just waited for my train. However, my phone gave a notification that its battery is low, so I unplugged my headphones and just hoped I didn't get an outburst. Entitled mother noticed me and walks toward me. Hello, do you remember me? The woman on the train earlier today? Oh, hi, yeah, I remember you. I'm pretty confused why she's even talking to me. Where are your headphones? I wasn't really trusting her, so I said, none of your business. Come on, show me them. Why? I looked them up online and they're really expensive, so I wanted to look at yours. I've been waiting here all day. I know I realized she's basically a psycho, so I said, if you want to look at them, search it up online again. So after what felt like hours, finally my train arrived. And I didn't say a word to the lady, and just left her and went into the train. searched my seat, and hoped this would be the end. But no, she follows me. She now says, "Just let me look at them now. Stop harassing me." And in my conscience, I said I was going to get an outburst. "Please stop." Entitled Mother, "Just for a split second." No. My breaking point. I got a laughing burst this time. Why are you laughing? People start looking at me. "Stop, idiot, just give me the damn headphones." I actually can't stop, and I feel like I'm choking. It's something that happens often. I get the feeling that I can't breathe because of the sudden outburst. "Just leave me, please." And I start crying now. Some people walked to another cabin, which really made me angry, honestly, but also understandable, as they didn't know about my condition and probably thought that I'm crazy like everyone else. "Are they in your bag? Answer me right frickin' now!" Look, lady, I have a mental disease. Please." And the crying continues. Then, Entitled Mother grabs my bag and opens it. My books were lying all over the place. My laptop screen got cracked, and my calculator broke after being launched against the wall. She finally finds my headphones. So I press the alarm button for security to come. An officer rushes inside the cabin. He saw me crying, and a woman with headphones in her hands, and books all over the floor. I think he realized what happened. "What has happened here?" Me, I can't speak because I keep crying. "This boy stole my bag. Luckily, I could hold on to my headphones." All I could do was shake no with my head. "I don't believe that stuff is yours, ma'am. It's school books." I grabbed one of my books and threw them at the police agent. It said my name and the cover, a male name, and the officer instantly understood. He was looking confused, though, why I kept crying. Entitled Mother tried to make a run for it, and the officer tackles her, cuffs her around one of the poles in the train, making her unable to leave. "You can stop crying, young man. Can you tell me what happened?" I still couldn't speak and started laughing again, and he's like, "Are you okay?" I made my hands with a sign to say to the officer that should just wait a bit. Like this, I guess, like you put your hand up, say stop, and grabbed my phone. Called my dad, and he heard me laughing. I gave the officer my phone, and my dad explained it to him. "Oh, I see. Well, kid, your dad is on his way to the next station. Why don't you just sit in the next cabin and try to calm down?" Entitled Mum was screaming the whole time and calling me and the officer bad names. Minutes pass. I managed to calm down by just using my last 4% battery on my phone to listen to my song, knowing that my dad was just waiting at the next stop. We finally arrive, and my dad decided to press charges against the woman. Anyway, my dad told me she got taken away for stealing, lying to higher authorities, and harassment. I honestly don't know why I wanted to share this. I get outbursts for just thinking about this. Also, the reason this cost me like 45 minutes to type, I guess I didn't let it to people more about PPA, or just any other mental disease. Thank you for reading the whole thing. If you made it here, say turtle, or just the turtle emoji because I love turtles. Nice. I'm going to put a turtle emoji on that one. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this story today. A little bit of an update, as everyone said. Yeah, I've just moved to Ireland. It's going really well now. Sorry about all the breaks today. As some people have said, especially Grandma Nancy, that I do like just going off script sometimes and saying some things. I know some people don't like me doing that, but I like having fun with the videos from time to time. It won't, as I said, it won't always be me saying dumb stuff while the stories are going on. I'm also thinking of starting up 2 more channels, but for those ones, there's going to be like a Reddit videos on it, and the other one I want to do some gaming content. I'll be posting those videos on here until those channels pick up 1,000 subscribers each on them. Then it'll just be solely on those ones. Anyway, if you guys got any ideas what other types of content you want to see from me, put it down below. I'm going to really try and pick up the game of just some quality and everything. I can't do great quality videos right now. If you want to see some better quality, I'd love to just... I don't know what I'm saying. Just give me suggestions so I don't make a fool of myself, basically. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.